Yes.
What was the relationship like between the former president and President Hichilema? I know there have been questions raised, and I asked the Zambian government about whether or not they assisted. For instance, when he was sick and he needed to travel for his medication, they seemed to suggest that they were always opening up their door and willing to help. I asked about the presidential benefits that were cut off. They said that, well, that's because the former president had decided to re-enter politics, and according to the law in Zambia, once you decide that, you lose all your presidential benefits. What's your side as the family?
You see, sometime in August of 2023, he was still in retirement. He asked to be taken to the hospital, to come for his medical reviews here in South Africa. The government, without giving a reason, denied him that opportunity for medical reviews to come to this place. So you will notice that even the time when he was supposedly or supposed to be enjoying his privileges, all those privileges were denied him. The president could not, the former president could not easily go to a church service. If he went to a church service, the church service was blocked. We had one in Dola where he was stopped from attending a church service. He used to jog routinely as he would, and every time he jogged, obviously there are others that jog in the morning, they'll join him. The government stopped him from jogging. There was a time he had...
Why did they do that? What risk was he posing?
Well, they called it political jogging. Well, obviously any former president would command some kind of attention in the moment that they do certain things or go in a public place. That is normal. But I thought that was going to be acceptable in view of the fact that he was trying to keep healthy. But that was a threat to the government. And you may have noticed that at some point he was invited for a conference in Korea where he was supposed to speak. He went to the airport, boarded onto an aircraft. They off-boarded him, took out his luggage and said he couldn't travel. The matter is still in court. It was supposed to come up sometime on the 17th of July, but now he's gone. Yeah. So all that was challenged. Even when it came to the issue of taking away his benefits, they said he got into active politics and they took away his benefits, which included medical or insurance, which he never enjoyed even before they could take those away. Now that all those benefits have been taken away, what's the interest of the state? The interest of the state in this particular is not to impose their will, but simply to ask the family how they would like to mourn the former president and what role as government they can play in all this. If that is agreed and the family is able to say, okay, this is the role that you can play in this, and we accept that he was a president, that is pretty much acceptable. Yeah. But the government has come with a view that they are entitled to the body of the former president. They've been making those assertions to say it's either we have the body or no deal at all. You don't get into negotiations like that. The understanding of mediation is that let's sit down so that you may agree to repatriate the body. But that's not how you look at things.
Yeah.
Yes.
The government seems to believe that public interest trumps the interest of the family and the wishes of the family. In fact, they mention a previous case where apparently the former president, Kenneth Kaunda's family, wanted him to be buried privately, and the former president, Edgar Lungu, is the one who took the family to court because he believed that the state's interest trumped that of Kaunda's, and they're using that as precedent that has been set by the former president himself.
I'll correct that. It's not the president who took the matter to court. It's the family of President Kenneth Kaunda that took the matter to court. It was a judicial review application, an application for leave to commence judicial review, and it failed at that process. So what was not granted is leave for the matter to commence so that it can be ruled on the substance. So there was never an opportunity in that case for the court to deal with the substance of the case. It was an application for leave which was thrown out because they were late in time. So that cannot form a precedent. Even assuming that it was to form a precedent, President Kenneth Kaunda was enjoying all the benefits of the state, which included a state funeral. But if you're going to tell a person to say you're not entitled to all these benefits, and then when they die you say, oh, now you are entitled, I heard him say that posthumously they were giving back those benefits. You don't do it that way. It has to be a proper discussion, a proper compromise between the state and the family. So that authority that they seek to refer to is not an authority for purposes or that would affect the status of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
What are you willing to compromise on as the family? I mean, this is a difficult time for you as a family. The last thing you want is to be fighting with, especially a government that the former president has served for so long and was part of. What are you willing to compromise on to try and put this matter to bed so that there can be a dignified send-off for the former president?
To start with, the family is not fighting with the government. The government is fighting the family. Fighting the family because they have gotten the issue to be one of propaganda, one of PR, one to avoid embarrassment, and not looking at the interests of the family. Had they, right from the start, I would let you know that on the 6th of January, the president, or rather the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Mr. Haimbe, we had a discussion, and the first question was, are you giving this benefit or this particular national mourning or state funeral as something gratuitous or as attendant to his benefits? He says, well, attendant to his benefits. And the question was, we thought you took those away. We thought you cancelled them by your letter that was written to him in October of 2023. You said he was not entitled to everything that a former president is entitled to. You even went further to close the office of the 6th Republican president and redeployed his staff, took away the security, took away medical insurance, took away everything. What role are you playing in all this? The response from the state was an imposition and not something that should have been negotiated with the family.
Where do you see this ending as a family? Are you just going to fight it over in court? Are you hoping for a resolution at some point?
You see, we're happy that the matter went to court because now the court will be dealing with the rights of the parties. What are the rights of the family? What are the rights of the state in this? Has the state demonstrated a clear cause of action, clear right that they can demand? If they're saying it is in national interest, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu was not enjoying any taxpayers' money at the time of his death. He was not enjoying any benefits from the state. What then, or how then do we treat such a person? Even assuming that he was enjoying those benefits, what is the say of the family? The body always belongs to the family. Never does it belong to the state. And it is the state that has to negotiate, come to a compromise with the family as to how a dignified send-off can be given to a former president.